This is the Gita class, chapter 12, and then the sloka is number 5. Okay, we'll do the Mangalachana praise. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjalasamarasalakhaya Chakshurunmilitena Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padagamalam Shri Mugurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakambhitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarabhya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktabanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai Prabhupada ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai Prabhupada ki Jai Chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, and then the sloka is number 4. क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते क्लेशः trouble adhikatraha very much tesham of them avyakta to the unmanifested asakta attached chetasam of those whose minds avyakta towards the unmanifested he certainly gatihi progress dukkham with trouble dehavadbehi by the embodied avapyate is achieved. Translation purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Translation. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal future of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So here the point to be noted is the person, the disciple in that discipline, right? The disciple or the sadhaka who is embodied, even though their minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal future of the Supreme, they think that that is the greatest thing, the impersonal or unmanifested future of the Supreme Lord. They think that those are the smart way of doing that, and they think that the akara worship or deity worship is low, and it's like a lower level people. So that's why they are normally, that is how people are attracted. The mind is attached to the unmanifested impersonal, because the mind, if you really see, it's a matter. It can only perceive the things which are material only. It can never think about the something which is a spiritual, because this is a matter made up of the matter only, mind. But because of the mental concoction or whatever, because it tries to attach to the manifest, tries to get realization of the Atman by the mind, that's how it is things. And then whereas it, if you really see that this is all the people are to make, those people, they are all totally embodied people. That means they are all body consciousness related people. If you really see the body consciousness, right, this is really you need to observe and see whether your body consciousness or spiritual consciousness. So if you are a body consciousness, always thinking about the body, thinking that we are the body, trying to take care of the body, thinking that I am the body and without the body I cannot live. So those are all the thoughts always resembling the bodies, and then the wants are for the bodies, and the body is attached to the body, our body. So if you really see, the desire is something like the related to the body only, either mind or physical body. gross body. So if the people are, if those people, for them, the unmanifested is very hard. Impersonal feature of the Supreme is hard. So in that case, there is an issue with the personal feature also. If you really see the personal feature, we try to attach to a particular God or try to attach to a particular form of the Lord, but because of so many current commentators are the chaoses, we think that again that is not also. Again, there is a quarrel between the, oh, my God is superior than your God, and then my form of deity worship is only great. So those kind of things will happen. So that's why it's very tough. So you need to understand the impersonal feature of the Lord. At the same time, pray to the form of the Lord with the intention that that form is also the Lord, but that doesn't mean just the form only the Lord. The Lord is unlimited, and you cannot even think also with the mind and all the senses. And you need to realize yourself, self-realization, that you are Atman. Then in that stage, probably you could able to understand whether the Dvaita or Visishta Dvaita or the Dvaita. But before that, the qualifications we need to attain that. To get to the qualifications, so many qualifications mentioned before also and after also. The Kama Krodha should be eliminated. You have to think everyone like equal, no dvesha, about all the living adveshta sarvabhutanam. So many qualities are there. So until you get to that point, it is always better to worship the Lord with the form and also with the jnana. Try to get the impersonal concept and then how this Atma is. And the, like Shankaracharya explained so many verses in his Vangmayams about the Atma, Atma Bodha, Vivek Chudamani, so many. And then he translated gave the purport of all the Upanishads. So we need to analyze that. So even if you really say, we think that we are this body, but in reality, what is this body is? Everything made up of the Panchabhutas and the Panchikarana of the Panchabhutas. If you really see, the 5 Panchabhutas, they are actually very so subtle, you cannot even view it. And the Panchikarana happened, and the Bhagavan's Srishti. Look at that. And then Panchikarana, how means each Panchabhuta first divided into half, and the remaining half it divided into the 4 parts. And what happened is, like, the first Panchabhuta of the first half and took all the other 4 Panchabhutas of those halves and then combined into one whole, and then you can able to see the Panchabhuta. And even if that also, the sky you cannot see that. Only the earth you can see fully. Water you can see, you may not see because it may evaporate also. And the fire, you can just see the form of the fire, but it always fluctuating. You cannot even see also, and it expands so much out from the earth. Compared to the earth, the water expands so much. Water compared to water, fire expands so much, and the air expands even more. You cannot see the air, and forget about the sky. Even the Panchabhutas, even the material body, material nature itself, you cannot see. How can you see the Lord? At the same time, you need to understand that the form of the Lord which we are given is only to purify our stuff, and also you can think that is a Lord, but that is not just the Lord. It is the part, the Lord, and then don't think that and don't quarrel about that. That my form is only greatest form, whatever I am doing it. Let's see the purport. The group of transcendentalists who follow the path of the inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal future of the Supreme Lord are called Jnana Yogis, and the persons who are in full Krishna consciousness engaged in devotional service of the Lord are called Bhakti Yogis. We know that. Now here is the difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga is definitely expressed. The process of Jnana Yoga, although ultimately bringing one to the same goal, is very troublesome, whereas the path of the Bhakti Yoga is definitely, although the process of ultimately one very troublesome, whereas the path of a Bhakti Yoga, the process of being in direct service to the Supreme Lord of God, Supreme Personal Godhead, is easier and is natural for the embodied soul. Again, he is saying that embodied soul. And for the embodied soul, it is natural because we have the service propensity. We always serve our bosses or our kids, our family, our society. That service attitude is there because of the body consciousness. So because of that same thing again, You just service same attitude with bhakti. Like Shravanam Kirtanam, I think that it's all Bhagavan's Leelas, Bhagavan's energy, and his material nature. He created it. He is our Father. He is our this, and then we are all doing for him only. Because of him only, all the karmas will happen. The results will happen to us, and everything is structured. There is no accident here, and then we are always with live with him only. That kind of concepts will soothe us. The individual soul is embodied since time immemorial. That is exactly true. And we need to get out from this embodied nature. That's another thing we need to do it. It is very difficult for him to simply theoretically understand that he is not the body. Exactly. Therefore, the Bhakti Yogi accept the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conception fixed in the mind which can thus be applied. Of course, worship of the Supreme Godhead in his form within the temple is not idol worship. There is an evidence in the Vedic literature that worship may be saguna or nirguna of the Supreme possessing or not possessing the attributes. Worship of the deity in the temple is saguna worship, for the Lord is represented by the material qualities. But the form of the Lord, though represented by the material qualities, such as stone, wood, or oil paint, is not actually material. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. Like exactly, if you are worshipping, if you are seeing a rock or any dirt or anything, you have this bhavana of the matter. But when you see the worship of the Lord, even though made up of this stone or dirt or anything, the bhavana is different. The mind attachment to the mind is, we think, always think that if you, that's why we should know more about the Lord. He is unlimited, infinite, Purnam, and then he has these qualities, spiritual qualities. Everything came from him, and everything is going to go to him. And he is the Karta. He is the what is that? Creation, destruction, and annihilation, maintenance. Sushti, Sthiti, Laikaraka. So many things are there for him. His qualities and his avatars came. He is omnipotent, omnipresence, and all that thing. So when you see the form of the Lord, you don't think that it is a matter. So you think that. So that's how you will be connected slowly, and then you will be get out from this bodily concept of the life, and then your mind slowly, as the Atma in the Atmapada Shankaracharya says, the reflection of the consciousness falls on the mind, mainly the buddhi. That's where this reflected consciousness, the buddhi takes that energy and thinks that I know and all these things, and all the objects are glorified, or then you perceive objects, and then this leela of the things are happening. So that consciousness, you need to understand it. You need to realize that. Okay, that is what it is. So that's what the Krishna consciousness. A crude example may be given here. We may find some mailboxes on the street, and if we post our letters in those boxes, they will naturally go to their destination without difficulty. But any old box or an imitation which we may find somewhere but which is not authorized by the post office will not do the work. Similarly, God has an authorized representation in the deity form which is called Archa Vigraha. This Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. God will accept service through that form. The Lord is omnipotent, all-powerful. Therefore, by his incarnation as Archa Vigraha, he can accept the service of the devotee just to make it convenient for the man in conditioned life. That's what it is, man in the conditioned life, to make him. So he made, and he did the avatars, and then because of his avatars, Leelas, the form is in that avatara, so that we can touch the Lord, even though the Lord is infinite, omnipresent, omnipotent. So for the devotee, there is no difficulty in approaching the Supreme immediately and directly. But for those who are following the impersonal way to spiritual realization, the path is difficult. They have to understand the unmanifested representation of the Supreme through such Vedic literature as Upanishads, and they have to learn the language, understand the non-perceptual feelings, and realize all these processes. This is not a very easy for common man. A person with Krishna consciousness engaged in devotional service simply by the guidance of the board of a spiritual master, simply by offering regulative obeisances unto the deity, simply by hearing the glories of the Lord, and simply by eating the remnants of the foodstuff offered to the Lord, realizes the Supreme Lord very easily. Okay, very easily realizes. Again, there is a catch here. You need to understand, and then you should have the broad mind, and then really have this prema and all those things. Otherwise, again, you are in the loop only. There is no doubt that the impersonalists are unnecessarily taking a troublesome path with the risk of not realizing the absolute truth at the ultimate end. But the personalist, without any risk, trouble, or difficulty, approaches the Supreme Lord directly. A similar passage appears in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated there that if one ultimately has to surrender to the Supreme Personal Godhead, this surrender process is called bhakti, but instead take trouble to understand what is Brahman and what is not Brahman and spends his whole life in that way, the result is simply troublesome. Therefore, it is advised here that one should not take up this troublesome path of self-realization because there is uncertainty in the ultimate end, ultimate results. Even though that is how it is, so that it's like an ahininda nyayam, we don't want to totally oppose the jnana yogis, but only to support the bhaktas. This was what we explained. But if you really say, it is more fun to understand the nature of the Lord, and then think about the Lord, because so many like avastatrayas, like panchakosha vilakshanas, like 5 bodies, annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, anandamaya koshas are there, and then the dream state, waking state, and deep sleep state, all explained in the Bhagavatam also. So the Bhakti Yogi also will get all this knowledge, and the Jnana Yogi also is all in knowledge. Somehow or other, Jnana Yogis are attached to the impersonal form of the Lord, whereas the Bhakti Yogis are attached to the form of the Lord. And even if you really see in that day, during the day also, we can see sometimes we are more attached to the Bhakti form of the Lord, and sometimes we are more attached to the Nirakara concept of the Lord. And because even in the ISKCON or anywhere we do there is, I think that I heard that there is a second initiation which they will give the Gayatri mantra, and Gayatri mantra is totally like a universal form of the Lord worship or the Nirakara. So we should have both, and then with our convenience, whatever may be the convenience during the day, you just do that thing. So every day, every minute, we have to serve the Lord, think about the Lord. So whatever way you want to think it that way. So in the way when the Brahman concept also, they are saying like, but that's also a higher concept. The Upanishads are the ultimates, and we have to realize that's where our jnana will improve. And when the jnana improves, that's where the bhakti also improves. When the bhakti improves, the jnana improves. So both go hand in hand. Like Ramakrishna Paramahansa says, there are like 2 wings of the bird. A living entity is eternally an individual soul, and if he wants to merge into the Supreme Soul, he may accomplish the realization of the eternal and knowledgeable aspects of his original nature, but the blissful portion is not realized. By the grace of some devotee, such a transcendentalist, highly learned in the process of Jnana Yoga, may come to the point of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. At that time, long practice in impersonalism also becomes a source of trouble because he cannot give up the idea. Therefore, an embodied soul is always in difficulty with unmanifested, both at the time of practice and at the time of realization. Every living soul is partially independent, and one should know for certain that this unmanifested realization is against the nature of the spiritual blissful self. One should not take up this process. For every individual living entity, the process of Krishna consciousness, which entails full engagement in devotional service, is the best way. If one wants to ignore this devotional service, there is a danger of turning to atheism. Thus, the process of centering attention on the unmanifested, inconceivable, which is beyond the approach of the senses, as already explained in this verse, should never be encouraged at any time, especially in this age. It is not advised by Krishna, which is exactly true. I agree totally with that, especially in this age. Even my personal experience in the beginning, childhood, when I'm trying to at least do the worship of the Lord, a lot of people will say like, oh, discourage that. Kind of like, this is not this higher level, something they will come and spoil the devotion. And because of that, what happens is like you have the disconnection, and eventually you will be end up in the atheism. Because the universal Lord, you cannot hold that, and you cannot get that, and at the same time you don't do this normal stuff, then what happens is you lose interest, and eventually you will be carried away by the material desires, and eventually be in the society, and then should totally washed off by the Maya. So this is the end of the purport is so we have to think ourselves that okay, the form of the Lord, deity worship is also very important. At the same time, we should not be only the narrow-minded and then get the carried away even in that also. Like a lot of things we'll see, right? Like a lot of always desiring something, go to the deity and then always claiming and then praising and then get the desires fulfilled and then be in the bodily consciousness, then there is no growth. You have to grow beyond the body and thinking that who am I, kind of. At the same time, you have to do the all the devotional service. So jnana, real jnana yogis, they were never stopping the bhakti yogas, and same thing vice versa. If you see, there's a saying that Vivekananda, from the outside he is a jnana yogi because he always talks about, but inside he is a pure bhakta yogi, bhakti. He has so much love for the Bhagavan. Unless you have the full knowledge of the jnana, then there won't be any love for Bhagavan. And if on the other side, if you really say the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he is like a totally bhakta outside and he is a jnani inside. So they both go hand in hand. Like Prabhupada also, he explained this all the Krishna consciousness. Simply, even though he could have said that just simply chant and then eat the prasad and then go away. But why he is stressing on reading his books? Because his books will have the jnana. Without the jnana, bhakti won't stay. And without the bhakti, jnana won't fulfill because they will have the ego and all that stuff. So everything go hand in hand, but we need to understand that our nature and where the position we are in and what are your buddhis, where is up to, and then how much body consciousness we are having. Because of that, then you need to do all this bhakti, which is simple. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archaryam, Dasyam, Padasevam, Dasyam. So these 9 processes are there. So listen to the Lord. Like for example, avatars, leelas, they are all same, we think. But if you keep on relishing that each and every, and have this tattva also, like a janma karma cha vedipam evam yoveti tattvataha. So his leelas and everything are great, but you have to understand the real truth, tattvataha. So if you say any leela, it's all related to our existing, and it can connect to the absolute way. Now let's see what the Vidya Prakash Chandagiri Swami says. He also says the same thing. Basically, first he says that people who are embodied, they should worship the Lord, and eventually they will go to the Nirgunopasana also. They just don't stick to the just Ishwaropasana, but you have to go to the Nirgunopasana to basically do the deity worship and all that, to control the indriyas, and then Nishkama Karma, and then Deha Bhava, remove the body consciousness, you are not the body, and then the indriyas, control the indriyas, and then do the work Nishkama Karma Yoga. Do the work as for the society, welfare society, to develop this, have this devotional service, and after that you realize your own Ananda, your own nature. Because your own nature is you also Atman, not the body. Think of that. So that's why they are saying, he's saying like sadhakas first, instead of just going to the Nirakara upfront itself, first they should do the Sakara first, get these things, and then once the heart is purified and all that, then you will be entering into the Nirakara. Like Atma Bodha also, first one is what? Tabobhi Kshina Papanam. Even the Shankaracharya in the Vivek Chudamani or Atma Bodha, every picture, he did not say that bhakti is bad. Bhakti also very good. You have to do the bhakti only, but you have to jnana bhakti is very important. So jnani satyaktam. So he says in the 7th chapter what? Artho, artharthi, jignasu, jnani. So 4 kinds of people come to me. They are all bhaktas only. Okay, arthas who are in need of something, artharthi, need of money, bhogas, and then jignasu, knowing about the Bhagavan, and then jnani. Jnani means the fully having the knowledge of the theoretical knowledge of the everything, at the same time trying to implement to the practical stuff. And tesham jnani nityuktah eka bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi jnaniyonyartham aham sacha mama priya. So whoever is this Jnana Yogi, then he's a more Lord likes more, because he has the knowledge. With the knowledge, he does that. He doesn't have the ego. He knows that it's all Bhagavan's only, Leela only. But he will have a full knowledge. Like a Moda Bhaktas, we know it. They'll put a lamp in the deity, in front of the deity, thinking that their bhakti is done. And after that, they will do all kinds of quarrels, bad words, and all that thing, desires, full of desires, and all that. But that is not the bhakti. And again, there is a quarrel between, okay, you have to put one lamp or two lamps, one vatti or two vattis, and morning, evening, no matter what, no matter whether wood houses or anything, you have to put so much, just fire only. That's all they do. All they do is just fire and then do little bit of japa. They think that their bhakti is over. But that is not that. Bhakti means, again, in this chapter, Krishna is going to explain next onwards what is really bhakti means. He says that you give your mind and buddhi to him. If you are focused on one form and you are giving the whole mind and buddhi to that form, that is perfectly fine, perfectly great. Then you are almost realized soul only. Okay. So also he says, like, if the kshetram, like the patra, if that is not clean, if the heart is not clean, then it won't work. The nirakara worship won't work. Same thing he says, like, if the kshetram is, for example, you want to plant a seed, you have to till the land first. Then only plant the seed. Otherwise, the seed won't fructify. And at the same time, if you want to build a big building, you have to put a pillar inside. So these are examples. So that's why, until otherwise your heart is totally cleaned, this your mind cannot be in the Brahman, be elevated, diluted in the Brahman. Dissolution of the mind won't happen until it is clean. What is the clean thing means? It is to keep telling the mind that, okay, you should not have any material desire, because you are not the matter, you are not the body, and you are not the mind also, you are the soul, which is there Purnam, which has all the unlimited happiness is already there. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purvameva Vashishyate. So from the Bhagavan we came, and then whatever if you say, and then it's all unlimited. We have the unlimited Ananda, Satchit Ananda. We have unlimited knowledge, we are eternal, and we have the knowledge and the eternal happiness. So that's why here more encouragement of the Saguna Upasana to remove this body consciousness. And once you are above the body consciousness, then you will be eligible for the Nirakara worship. That's where you really know the Paramatma Bhagavan. Okay, it's a process. That's why point is, don't neglect or don't have this low feeling of the Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Whatever be the situation, wherever this, try to get this yoga, connect to the Bhagavan all the time. Because Akara worship or Nirakara worship, Saguna worship or Nirguna worship, both are all to the same absolute truth, to the same Bhagavan, same Paramatma. Okay? But keep working, keep doing the sadhana every minute, Ananya Chintana, Ananya Sadhana, and then that's where you keep on analyzing this and make use of your human life for the realization of the Supreme Lord. Okay, we'll end here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Bhagavan, Prabhupada.